Welcome back, Naji here. We are continuing a discussion on LangChain version 1, and in this video we will be discussing on agents. So this is the agenda of this video tutorial. We will be discussing on agent, LLM versus agent, and what is a tool, example of a tool, and we will be discussing on how to agent think, and also we will be discussing on the architecture. We'll be doing a sample demo, and we'll be summarizing the details. Why do we need agents? So LLM can talk but cannot act. So what are the limitation of plain LLM? So it cannot access the real-time data, it cannot call API, and it cannot run the code, it cannot work with the database files, it cannot interact with the external files. Okay, so what it can do? So LLM can predict the text, and it can understand the language, and it can create some reasons from the information. For example, they can create some kind of a summarization, and they can generate the responses. So normal LLM, they cannot access the environment, external databases or the knowledge base, and cannot fetch the live information, cannot execute the logic, or cannot do the real world interactions. It's kind of a static kind of a thing, right? So when we come to the agents, so we can say that agents is equal to LLM plus tool plus reasoning. So that is comes to the agents. So they can decide what action to take, they can select the right tool, they can execute a tool, they can observe the result, and they can produce the final answer. So makes LLM actionable. So agents make the LLM as a actionable kind of a thing. So if you come do a quick comparison with the LLM and agents, we can say LLM can only answer, they cannot interact, no actions, only text-based reasoning, static knowledge, and cannot verify the information. Okay, so that is what when we talk about LLM, these are the basic things with the LLM, and when we come to the agents, it can answer, it can act, it can use the tools, it can do a multi-step reasoning, and it can do the function call or the API call, it can access the live data, and it can verify and the validate. Okay, so now we will discussing on like what is a tool. Okay, tool is an essential part of an agent. So we discussed like LLM plus tool plus reasoning is the agent, right? Okay, based on our definition. So a tool is a function, okay, the agent can call. Okay, so if we name it as a tool, but it is a basic function, so that the agent can call. Okay, for example, we will have a calculator tool is a one example, and we have a web search tool is an example, weather API tool is an example. Okay, there are a lot of tools are there, we can create just like a, consider it as just like a plain function. Okay, for example, I am giving a complex calculation to our LLM model. Okay, so LLM model cannot execute that, so it needs some support. So what it does is it will check any tool is attached with this agent. So if any tool is attached with this agent, so agent will execute that, and it will get the result from that particular tool. For example, I want to check what is the weather in maybe US or India at present. Okay, and a weather API tool is attached with this agent, so agent will call this weather API. Okay, then based on the response, it will create some kind of a result, and it will show to the, it will send it as the, send it to the user. So that is how the agents work, agents and the tools together works. So these are the some real world example tools. This can be, it is not a built-in one, so we can create our own custom tools for this one. Okay, some of them are by default LangChain is providing, but some of them we can create. So this is a high level architecture of agent. So we can see that a user is giving an input, what is this, how to multiply this. Okay, so the agent will reasoning this one, and if it has a lot of tools attached with it, it will take the calculator tool, and it will respond, it will return the final result. So here we can see a few steps, the agent loop step. Okay, here we can see first it will understand the question, and it will decide which tool needed, and it will choose the correct tool, and it will execute it, and it will observe the result. Okay, and based on the result, it will decide what need to be the next step, then it will produce the final answer. So this I can explain like when we do the coding part also. Okay, so this is what we have discussed. I don't want to repeat it again. Okay, so I believe everybody got a basic idea about agents, tools, and the LLM. So what we can do, we can start do a coding part. Okay, so let me open my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to import few packages. Okay, so here I'll be using the grok. So now last class I have explained, I have shown like how can we create a grok account, right? I can do chat grok, and I can do a LangChain dot agents import create agent. So this is the create ReAct agent is the function that you are going to create the agents. First, let's set the model. So the model will be, I am using the basic grok model I'll be using. So here I'll be like to use the OpenAI GPT OSS 20 billion is the model that I'm going to use, and based on this I can create the agent. Okay, now let's discuss how can we create a tool. Okay, to create a tool I can import LangChain.tools. I can import the tool. Okay, now let's create a decorator. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a weather tool. You can say get weather. Here I am passing a country or a location. Based on that it will return a string. So I can create a definition for this one. This definition will be used by the agents to decide which one which tool it has to call. Okay, so I can say get weather information for a location. I can pass this one, and I don't want to pass this kind of a things now. I'll just pass, I can some static result here. I am passing like weather is sunny in location. Okay, simple tool. Okay, now let's create a calculator tool. I can create a calculator tool can be created. Here I am passing the number 1, and I am passing the number 2, and I am passing the action. Okay, so this is I am passing, and I am returning the float value. Here also I need to create a doc string. Okay, so I need to specifically explain this to avoid any hallucination what is number 1 and what is number 2. I can say arithmetic operation between two numbers. So that is what I am going that is the purpose of this calculator tool. Okay, now I can say what is number 1. Num1, I can say first number, and num2 is the second number, and what is the action. Okay, so here I need to specify what all things can be action. Action can be add, subtract, let me give a full here, and multiply and division. I don't want to make any spelling mistake here. Now let's do some basic check. If I'm checking, okay, action equal to add, I can return num1 plus num2. Elif action equal to subtract, I can return num1 minus num2. I can do elif action equal to multiply, I can return num1 into num2. Otherwise I can say return num1 divided by num2. Okay, so my tool functionality is done. Okay, so this is very clear and it is a very simple definition. Fine. Now I can create an agent, right? So what is an agent as per our definition? Okay, so agent is it contains a LLM model, right? So I can say model equal to the model that we have created. Here we are using the GPT OSS model 20 billion. Now I can attach the tools with it, right? So let's mention tools. So which all tools I am going to use? I can use get weather tool and I can use a calculator tool. Okay, so these are the tools that I am using. Okay, so agent is ready. So agent containing a model and a set of tools. Now let's invoke an agent. So agent can be invoked. Okay, here I can create a dictionary. I can pass a messages. So within the messages there will be two things will be there. One is the user. So not the user, role. So role will be the user. Then I can send a content. Okay, I can say give me weather in maybe I can say Kochi. Let's execute it. We'll see. So I can see sure according to the latest data the weather in Kochi is sunny. Okay, it's giving it is returning a data with sunny. Okay, so to know it is called this tool exactly, let me have a print here. I am in get weather tool. Here also let's put a print. Let's say I am in calculator tool. Execute again. So here you can see I am in a get weather tool and I am getting the result here. Okay. Now do a calculation. I can say add 2 plus 3. Execute. What is the result? Here I can say I am in a calculator and I am getting a result of 5, right? So we can see how it is the reasoning is happening, right? So it is getting a query or prompt from the user. So from the tool it is identifying which tool it has to call. Okay, then after getting the result, it is analyzing the prompt or the action is completed. If the action is completed, it is returning the data. Okay, to understand it in a better, let's do another scenario. I can say add 2 plus 2 plus 2, add 2 plus 2 and subtract 4 from it. Okay, I'm executing it. See, here we can see it is executed the calculator two times, calculator tool two times. Okay, we can see that first a message is going and here we can see the tool message, right? The 4 is the tool message. Then it is checking any like the action is completed. Okay, so here we can see we have a conversation, add 2 plus 2 and subtract from it. Okay, so let's understand it better. So if you have used the calculator tool to add 2 plus 2, now we have to subtract 4 from it. Okay, so it identifying we have completed the 2 plus 2, now we need to do the subtraction part. Okay, so that is why it is calling the tool again to do the subtraction. Then finally we are getting the results. Okay, this is what I said in my the presentation, like it is doing some kind of a reasoning part also. Okay, so based on the reason it is getting the result here. Okay, so I hope it is very clear, and if you have any questions you can ask me in the comment box, and please do like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.